the executive is not a god. So we can't rely on this whimsical notion of the perfect political leader, which is why we need checks and balances, limits, and these are all provided for by concepts like the separation of powers, democracy, rule of law. So are these concepts limited to the Constitution? Are these limited to statute books? Why don't we see enough of this in practice? Where are we going wrong? Where are the loopholes?
I think with the introduction of executive presidency, this political culture changed in this country. Because in a parliamentary system of governance, see, let me make one thing clear. To govern, you need power. So having power is not the issue, but whether the power is checked, whether there is accountability. Now that is the most important part. So when in a parliamentary system, the cabinet is essentially from the legislature, and they are accountable to the legislature. They are accountable to the legislature. They are not outside the legislature. So, and also in a proper Westminster system, you empower institutions, not individuals. But what had happened with the executive presidency system is, like you said, it has created an office where you install a godly man, a man with a lot of powers, or a woman with a lot of powers. And everything else functions at that person's mercy. That is the system here. Now when I say this is akin to a monarchy, I would even look at the symbols. Except for this incumbent president, every other executive president had their own standard, own flag. Who has those things? Only monarchs. Only monarchs. So it is, in a way, I believe J.R. Jayawardena manifested himself as a monarch of this whole island. And I remember he wrote or he authored a book called The Golden Threads of History, where at the end he lists the list of monarchs that had governed parts of this island. And that list extends to King George, and it comes and it ends with him. So I think the whole idea of executive presidency, which was introduced by J.R. Jayawardena, is in a sense introducing some sort of a powerful monarch to this country. That is the problem with executive presidency. Everything is at the mercy and decision of one person, and that is not healthy. You have to have active checks and accountability to that power, and that is exactly why we have to abolish this system. Because once you give power to that one person, then everything about politics in that country surrounds that person. This is why you see, as long as a person remains president, that person gets support from across the board. There is no government, there is no opposition, people cross over, and everyone tries to empower him, support him, expecting something in return. This is not only happening in political arena, this is happening throughout the administration, which is not healthy for any democracy at all. So this executive president system as a system is empowering such politicization of the whole country.